meeting. And I want to welcome all those joining us from different counties. I see my friends from Kisumu, from Kakamega, from Mombasa, from Nairobi here, and across Kenya. I see a lot of people from Homa Bay and from Nakuru. Wow, there are a lot of people on this call, and from Nairobi. I just want to say a big hi to all of you and thank you for finding time to be at the right place. And the right place for you to grow in our business is training. I always say I'm a product of training myself because when I came to this business 7 years ago, I was very busy doing it on part-time. I have been doing it on part-time for so long, and I just want to thank God for such a great opportunity of New Life. You know, most of us who have a job here in Kenya, it's like you work the whole day. Sometimes you work almost the whole night. But the greatest thing with New Life, I used to go to work 8 to 5. And then at 5, I just find some very little time and I do this business. And guess what? That little time that I invested in this business has paid me off in a very big way. And not only me, because my success story is compromised of many people and many success stories. That is the greatest thing about New Life. I joined New Life. I always say I joined to make extra income. Most of you know my story. Today is not about me. And today we want to learn how we should look ahead in this business, because most of us, including myself, how I joined this business, I always say, if I never looked ahead, if I never said that, what will I do in this business for me to achieve? If I never looked at 2 to 5 years, because my first check was 1,400 Kenya shillings, that's about $14. So what am I trying to say? If I just looked at that check at that time, I could have given up. I could have said, you know, this check is too small. But you know what, my friends, I looked ahead and I said, you know, if this business has been done by other people, they have succeeded and they're earning good money, why not me? So I have just seen our guest speaker is here, P.T. Isaac. So today is going to be training us on looking ahead. And let me tell you, friends, that is what I did when I came to New Life 7 years ago. I looked at the business, I looked at the opportunity, and for me, I was told 2 to 5 years, I'm going to have financial freedom. You know, when you look at a check of 1,400, you wonder, now this financial freedom, I've come here for money and the check is too small. But let me tell you, my friends, I thank God so much that I looked ahead. And how did I look ahead? I started working, I started doing the basics, and I thank God that the person who has been supporting me and my sponsor and my upline director is our speaker today. And he'll be sharing with us the key things we need to do in this business. And I love the topic of today because it's what I have done, or it's what I have been doing since I joined, so that I can get encouraged, so that I can move ahead. So P.T. Isaac, I hope you can hear me. I see you are ready now.
Yes. Yes, I can hear you, Grace. I can hear you. I can hear you, P.T. Grace.
Karibu sana, you're most welcome. I'm here ready with my pen. I'm ready to learn.
Wonderful.
And we are very happy. And I was just telling my friends here on this call that you are the big reason I am here. You are my sponsor. You are the one who invited me for 6 months without giving up.
Yes.
Kuambia wakupigie makofi bwana. Ai.
It's only now that we have we are already now not in the physical meetings.
I tell you, because you have changed my life, and I want to thank you and Purity for telling me to look ahead. And that is the topic for today. You told me to look ahead in this business and I will succeed. You told me not to look at the check of 1,400, the first check I had, because, you know, I came in for money and the first check was too small and I was not seeing the money that I came for. So karibu sana P.T. Isaac. We were waiting for
Thank you very much, Grace. I really want to appreciate the welcome you have given me this evening, and I thank you also for being the host, for our host today. I really want to appreciate, and also want to really, sorry, just a minute. Sorry for that. So I was saying, thank you very much, Grace, for that opportunity and even welcoming me to do this meeting. I'm really excited this evening. Just now, I had been invited, courtesy of Grace. I don't think even Grace knew this, but I had been invited by the Europe, the Northern Europe, and also America, part of America. They had invited me in a forum for teachers. So as I'm talking to you, I'm just from Europe, and so if you find my English a bit tricky, just understand. So because you know the the English up there, and I'm so excited to see you this evening. So my name is Isaac Ndungu. By profession, I'm a high school teacher. So somebody told me about this business when I was teaching, and I think you need to get to know this. When I was growing up, I was told by my parents to work very hard. I was told that if I worked very hard, I would get very good grades. And if I got very good grades, I would also get a very good job. And that job would take care of me. Guess what? I obeyed my teachers and I obeyed my parents. I worked very hard. And finally, I was able to secure a chance in the university. So I took a course in teaching, and I took English and literature. And then when I did that, I started teaching somewhere in Chogoria, Meru. In fact, I stayed in Chogoria for such a long period of time that though I never knew how to speak in Kimeru, by the time I was leaving Meru, I already knew how to speak in Kimeru. In fact, occasionally, they would give me chances to preach in the churches. And you know what would happen? I would get chances to get there, and I would tell them, today I'm going to speak in Kimeru, but just in case my Kimeru runs out, I will speak in my mother tongue. And then they would tell me, it's okay, even your mother tongue we understand. And you know, and that was my life. And I really taught there for quite a while. And then I got a transfer to teach in a school in Thika. Okay, it is very near Thika, but actually in Muranga. Rocho Girls is actually in Muranga, but it's very near Thika. So I started teaching there. And as I taught there, as I taught in Rocho Girls, someone told me about a business now I could do alongside my teaching. Guess what? I said, let me give it a trial. I had never tasted anything close to business. I was never brought up in a family where we were doing any form of business, so to say. We only used to pick coffee and tea. So the issue of biashara, so to say, wasn't really, we were basically farmers. So then I said, let me give it a trial. When I did, something else happened. The teachers in the staff room. And a number of them told me, this one does not work. He haifanyi. I don't know whether you have realized a number of people that are experts of things that don't work. They will not tell you what works, but they know all things that don't work. So they told me, hii biashara haifanyi, it doesn't work. You know, I almost believed them because it's just like Grace. Apparently, my first check was also small. It was 1,362 Kenya shillings. That is not a lot of money, not dollars. If there were dollars, that could be reasonable, so to say. But 1,000 Kenya shillings, it isn't much actually. So that is it. And a number of teachers saw my check. And I remember one of them really laughing at me. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, even as I continue, you know, I have 2 degrees that I got from the university. When you are laughed at, when you are really laughed at, sometimes you start wondering, kwa nini, why is this person laughing at me? Probably what I should have done is to find out whether this business is genuine, is real, before I do it. Otherwise, now I am looking like a fool, having been to the university for the first degree and master's. And then I'm talking about a business. See, later on, I understood that my colleagues in the staff room may have not really understood the nature of the business I was doing, because like me, they had been told to go to school, to work very hard, and the nature of they would get an employment, and finally, after getting the employment, they would be taken care of by this employment. So I understand them. Sorry, I understand the teachers now, but not then. So I continued working, and my second check went to 29,531. That was very exciting. It was very encouraging. In fact, if we were in a meeting, I would have asked for a clap. The reason is this: that money was more than my net salary with the TSC. The TSC is the body that employs teachers. That was more than that. Now, we all know, of course, the check was good. Okay, the pay was good from up there. You know, the gross salary, what you call the gross salary. But when these salaries start undergoing some technicalities, like pay as you earn, pay as you eat, pay as you walk around, pay as you marry. By the way, there was one we used to pay called WCPC, something like that one, Widows and Children Pension Scheme, WCPS, something like that. We used to pay so that in the event you die, you take care of the people you have left behind, the widow and the children. So that, and we were paying because of her being married. And you know, by the time you would get the money down there, it was so little. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes it will be so little and very ashamed. You would find me go to work every day. But if you really asked, how much money are you taking home by the end of the month? When you looked at that money, you would really pity someone. We used to have green, initially they were green in color, pay slips. Then they came to white before they graduated to online. Now, anytime that somebody would be given the pay slip, it was always folded. You would never be given the pay slip when it is, when it is straightened. It was always folded, and the only thing that you could see on the pay slip was the name. And then I can remember vividly, every time somebody received their pay slip, they would change where they were sitting, go somewhere else, and make sure that you cannot see what exactly they are doing. They are looking at, they are looking at their pay slip because they didn't want anybody to see it. And I'm telling you, I was not happy with what I could see. I am an ambitious man. I am a dreamer. I dream. And I could clearly see that my payslip and my mind, my dreams, they would never come close. So when I was invited to this business, where it is unlimited, I normally call it your unlimited opportunity. When I was invited to this business, I saw something that is not limiting. Then the check went higher, it went higher, and then something started happening. I started introducing other people in the business that were doing the business sometimes on their own, independent of me. And that is quite a liberation. That is the nature of the business you would want to hear much more about. A business whereby you are training someone to do the business, and then as they do the business, you can actually benefit from their work, but they are free, they are independent, they are away from you. For me, that one became such a big thing that I could, like now when I look at this, the business the way it is, I no longer now have the control of the business. Why? Today I will hear that a certain lady called Celine Oguma, I normally call her my Ruby, Celine Oguma is having a meeting in Kitengela. And in that Kitengela, there is a certain upcoming sapphire called Ndungu. There is Susan. There is, you know, a number of directors. Some of them we have never met. When they are having their meeting, I am not there. Then something else happened. I could hear somebody is doing this business somewhere I have never even been. And guess what? Just now, I've just spoken to a meeting, a line connected through Grace, through Mwembe, I mean, Eunice Marango there, Josephine, you know, and all that. A business that is happening in America. I haven't been able to, in all our goings, rather the lifestyle, I haven't been to America. But you see what? Today, I have a business in America. There are so many people. I showed someone today, I was in the warehouse today, and I showed somebody, I was giving an orientation to a gentleman, a bishop. I hope he's on the call. He's called Bishop Philip from Nakuru. I was giving him an orientation of the business, and I showed him a booklet of so many people that are doing the business where I am. Now, when I was teaching, a very noble job, and I respect teaching, I was actually all alone, basically. And I also remember that I was not even careful the way I was dealing with the people when I was teaching. You know the reason? If you are not my principal, because I was also the HOD. So if you are not the principal and you are not the deputy, so if you are any other person, and you are not the TSC, who is my employer, that means I was a bit arrogant because what is the business with me and you? But today, this business taught me something else. It taught me that people are very key and they are important. So I work today with so many people. And the little me that I thought I were has now blown out and touched so many people. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It is just a beginning. This is just the beginning. The business is just beginning. And this evening, we consulted with Grace and she asked me to speak on looking ahead. Yesterday in the evening, we attended a session whereby people were getting some incentives. Just allow me to tell you this. I was doing calculations. Check ikikuja na naira, mimi nilikuwa na convert. 1 naira is around 3.8 Kenya shillings. So when I was able to convert, a gentleman who got 67 millions, I converted into Kenyan money, and it was coming to 17 million Kenya shillings. You know, when somebody gets 17 million Kenya shillings today in one son, that is my mother's language, one son, one day, that is not little amount of money. It's a good amount of money. It can do quite a lot. In fact, did you know in some of our professions, all the pension included with what that person has worked, it doesn't come to that. Yani somebody is employed, works for 40 years, and given pension until they die, and followed with some more money, it doesn't come to that after all the working. So I looked at that amount of money, and to me, it was a great challenge to get to know this gentleman has been in this business for 16 years. And then he is taking that one, not as the monthly check, No, that is an incentive. It really hit me. And then there's another gentleman from South Africa. He's now an aged man. He's an elderly man now. I'm sure now he's almost climbing to his 80s, called Charlie Bolton. And he got 2 million and something. And I was trying to convert that one. And quite a good amount of money. It was also coming between 16 and 17 million Kenya shillings. I was trying to convert every other check that was coming. But now, ladies and gentlemen, why am I revisiting that? Because the checks you saw yesterday and the checks you'll be seeing even in the future, they do not come the day you join the business. They don't come immediately. They take time. And that is where the challenge is. Because many times when we start this business, there are challenges around us. Sometimes it looks like you are virtually doing nothing. You look at it and you wonder, where am I really going? And then many voices around you start telling you, what exactly are you doing? Surely, can't you do something else? Ni kitu hata umejiunga na hii kitu. You know, that is how sometimes how people put it. And you know, if you're not careful, hata wewe unaanza kujionea huruma. You know, somebody asking you, so you are also doing this. You know, and you look like there is something really wrong with you. And then when you come to the practical bit of it, for example, the rejection that is there, you talk to several people and they are like, we are really not interested with what you are telling us. Hatutaki. I remember a friend of mine who told me, never tell me about this business again. Usiwahi kunialika. In fact, I was told that one also this week. Another person akaniambia, don't be sending me such messages. Apparently, they are in my phone book. Si wakiwa kwa simu yangu. Surely I have been carrying them around. Wako kwa simu yangu. Sasa namtumia juu ako kwa phone book yangu. Amekuwa kwa simu yangu. Nimembeba all through out this country. Alafu sasa hataki hata nimwambie kile nafanya. Then another one, I tell him, I have a wonderful opportunity. He doesn't speak. But then later on he tells me, come for my, we have a fundraising in our church. Come and help us. But he doesn't want to know where I actually get this money from. But he wants me to join him in the fundraising. When you are starting the business, there is a lot of resistance. There is a lot of fear. You are apprehensive. You are also not very sure. There are things that looks uncertain. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there are enough obstacles. Ziko, there are many. How do you overcome them? When you look ahead and you see what has been happening to those people that actually have stuck with the business. Today, when I was doing that orientation, there was also another gentleman who told me, I had checked on this business earlier on, lakini nikaacha. Today, I would be very far. You know, sometimes we tell people, 2 to 5 years, things can really change for you in this business. And sometimes people feel, 5 years? 5 years, miaka 5, nikiwa nafanya tu hii. Hiyo iko mingi. Hiyo iko mingi. But let me tell you, whether they join, whether they start the business or they don't, 5 years will still go. Miaka 5 bado itaenda tu. Itaenda. 5 years will still go. So they will find themselves that miaka 5 imeenda na hawakuanza hiyo biashara. But you know they can start. And 5 years, they tell a very different story. So what do you need to look ahead? What do you need to look ahead? Number one, knowledge. Knowledge. You need to know that you are in an international, solid business, a great opportunity that is also dealing with verified, potent products that are known all over the world. That knowledge is key. Get to know that we are dealing with a company that has been there for 63 years. I am very sure a number of people on my call, on this call this evening, are far much less than those years. In fact, some people, their parents are the ones that are that age. But before they were born, when they were still ideas, this business was in force. What am I talking about? That knowledge will keep you. That knowledge is key. When you get to know, I am dealing with products that have doctors, that have experts behind them. So I am dealing with something that is of that nature. That knowledge is key. Number two, you need a thick skin. You need a thick skin. What do I mean by that? You need a skin that when it is pricked, it is able to sustain itself and you keep moving. You need a skin that is able to weather criticism, that is able to weather lies. Let me tell you about the lies. There are many companies that come up and we are familiar with them in this country. I don't want to mention names. And someone tells you, oh, we have wonderful products. Kwanza zetu, si kama zenu. Zetu, ours are very cheap. Ours are very cheap. And kwetu hata even compensation plan, it is so easy to go with it. Kuja kwetu. Huo ni uongo. You know, and some people are carried away. So you need a thick skin to get to know, to actually sustain yourself through that period of time. You need to have that stamina. You need to have that resilience. You need to be a person who says, this is what I'm doing. I was so happy. I am so happy when I meet people and tell them, excuse me, I know those companies you are telling me about, and I really appreciate them. We are not the only company, by the way. There are others. And some are also genuine, to be honest with you. Then, but I'm so happy when I tell someone, excuse me, I have been here for the last 8 years. This is the only thing I have been doing for the last 8 years. So you can trust me. When I tell you about TNN, I have not only taken it, but I know it. I have met some of the people that actually I have a lot of knowledge in this. I have been here. I wanted to know about this business. And probably allow me to mention this before I leave my point number 2. Did you know when you stay with this business for a longer period of time, you get to know it better? You know what happens? Let me give you an example with Purity. Purity is my wife. We've been together with Purity now for the last 18 years. We are basically now living teenage. Tunakuwa young adults in marriage. Kuna wakati, I might come home and Purity looks at me and realize that sitaki kuongea. I am the most talkative fellow in the house, apparently. You know, people say that women talk more, but I think I talk more. Kwetu naongeanga more than actually Purity. So, and somebody can come okay, I hope. So somebody can come and she might look at me and realize, leo ni kama hataki kuongea. And she will not start talking there and then, atagoja. Then later on, she will talk. na mambo itaenda tu mzuri. The other times she can talk immediately. And anaongea tu mara moja. Kwa nini? For those 18 years amenisoma. Amejua huyu jamaa anataka hivi. Like I remember the very first years tulikuwa tuna shida nyingine kidogo. For example, napikiwa yai, I don't like it that way. Mimi natakanga yai yangu iwe namna hivi. Ikae namna hivi. Ikae namna hivi sawa sawa. Sasa si amejua over time. So those two small things after 18 years you can be sure they are not there. Sasa hata niuliza utapikiwa yai namna gani? Kwa nini? Tumekaa pamoja. Did you know when you stay in this business, you start getting to know it? You will not be casual. Some of the people that say, I tried that business and I realized I could not do it. In fact, they never tried. Some people leave our business even without trying at least 5 years. Hata miaka 5 hajamaliza. Alafu anasema, hiyo biashara niliona ni ngumu. Hiyo biashara niliona ni ngumu. Kabisa, niliona siwezi. Na that person has not even tried it at least 5 years. But if that person had gone it for, like for example, when we went to Sun City, my friends, I saw wonders. Sun City. Sun City is like a town. In fact, their part of it is called the lost city. It's like it had been lost. I was so excited. That was the very first time I left Kenya. And I'm so happy we were with Grace. I think in all the places actually we have been able to, the very first time I left the country, I also left with someone. That was Grace and Caesar to South Africa in 2015, September. Now I've remembered that Purity's birthday is also in September, inakuanga 16th. Sasa, you see, if somebody when I went there, I realized it is so important for somebody to become a sapphire director before leaving our business. Because when you become a sapphire and you see the privileges you get from the company, then you realize, I think I got the wrong information. I think somebody had not told me the full thing. We went to Sun City, you look at the treatment, you look the way you are handled, the best is actually reserved for you. So when I came back to Kenya from South Africa, Sun City South Africa, I told that team I was talking to that, if you leave this business before Sapphire, usiwahi sema uliingia. Usiwahi unasema uliingia. Don't be saying that I joined. Hapana. Wewe sema tu najua nilisikia kuna biashara inaitwa Neo Life. Kwa nini? Huijui kama unatoka kabla ya Sapphire, huijui, hujajua. To be honest, just like somebody will say they know you and they do not know you. So I had given you that example. So today, TJ can say, now I think I know Isaac because vile tumekaa na yeye ana kwa hiyo miaka tunajuana kiasi, tunajuana, and but when when you just touch the business halafu unaacha, then you say hata mimi nilijaribu nikashindwa. Ulijaribu nini? Unajaribu mwaka moja kitu na alafu unasema ulijaribu. Surely that is too casual. Just 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Some people live with months. Anaingia tu anatoka, alafu anakuambia nilijaribu hiyo nikashindwa. Na hajajaribu, hakuna kitu. In fact, anaenda kubad mouth anaenda kuharibu huko nje akisema vile biashara iko ngumu na hata hakuanza. So it becomes interesting. And let me tell you, can you imagine somebody who has been in this business for 40 years? There was a gentleman, I really love that guy, and I need to McDermott. Jana. That gentleman is now around 36, 37 years in this business. Can you imagine? He also got a very good check yesterday. He had 145,000 rands. Multiply that one by 8. Utapata in Kenya shillings. Can you imagine? That gentleman has been in the business for that 7 years. Sasa huyo ndiye mtu ambaye unaweza ongea na yeye umuulize hii biashara inaendaga aje? Inakuwa aje? How is this business? That guy, yani ameamuka mwaka wa kwanza akafanya Neo Life. Mwaka wa pili akafanya Neo Life. Wa tatu akafanya Neo Life. Mwaka wa 10 akafanya Neo Life. Mwaka wa 15, mwaka yani sio mwezi, mwaka wa 15 akafanya Neo Life. Mwaka wa 20 akafanya Neo Life. Mwaka wa 25 akafanya Neo Life. Mwaka wa 30th year, yani how do that 30, I hope so, 30 akafanya Neo Life. The guys that have 7 years in the business and is still doing it. Mtu kama huyo unaweza muuliza, na hii biashara inafanya. Sasa huyo atakwambia something that is valid. You don't go asking somebody ambaye aliingia January na sasa hayuko biashara. Ama aliingia last year, sasa hayuko. Na sasa anatembea akisema vile anaijua. Sasa huyo haijui. I think also somebody mtu mwingine alikuwa ananiambia niende pale yuko akona another network marketing company, akaniambia niende kwa sababu ati alikuwa kwetu ikashindikana. Alikuwa Neo Life, akaona Neo Life ni ngumu. Kwanza kuna mmoja aliniambia ni ngumu, nikamuuliza kwani kwa hivyo unanionanga mimi ni mtu simple? Mimi ni mtu ambaye anatakanga vitu ngumu kwa sababu usiniona hivi mimi ni mngumu. Kwa hivyo kama ni ngumu tutasikizana. Hata mimi usinione simple. Sasa this guy was telling me nilitoka kwenu, sasa kwetu ni Neo Life, nikaenda ingine juu I found that one easier. So I looked at it and then I asked him, when you are in Neo Life, you are in which level? Kaniambia yenyewe I did not go very far, but can you imagine I went one step to another. I left there when I was a senior manager. Now he wanted me now to post and to see the weight of a senior manager. By the way, I respect senior managers. You know, you cannot, that is a stage you must pass through. But look at it this way. Don't you think that is an abuse? I was a senior manager and by the way, I should have been number 1 or number 2. I will check. In the whole of East Africa as a senior manager. When I was a senior manager in the year 2013, I was a senior manager. Sasa, nikatoka senior manager, nikaingia director. Nikatoka director, nikaingia Sapphire. Nikatoka Sapphire, nikaenda. Then, ananiambia nimfuate. Look at it. Unajua watu wanatukananga wengine bila kujua. Yeye ametoka kama senior manager. I am a wild team. Ameenda kuniitia biashara. Kwa sababu hii yetu ilikuwa ngumu, ambayo mimi nimefanya na nimefaulu. In fact, I told one of them, if I left this business to join yours, siwezi kukujoin. Juu wakati ulikuwa kwetu hukuwa performer. So I'm expecting, unajua watu wanaendanga na wao. Yani, ukisikia mtu ametoka na yeye. Naona hata huko pengine hutaperform juu wakati tulikuwa na wewe hukuwa performer. So I'm not expecting, juu ni wewe, si company ni wewe, sioni kama uliperform ulipoenda. I looked at it like an insult. This was my point before I digressed a bit. Have a thick skin. Be somebody who can say, I am doing this business. And let me tell you, I am not going to do it for 1 year. I'm not going to do it for 2 years. I am not going to do it for 3 years. I will stick here. So for how long? Somebody has stayed here for the last 40 years. Another one has been here for 45 years. In fact, another one, I am getting friends now from Europe and those other places. Mtu alikuwa ananiambia, this business now is in the third generation. Yani, ilikuwa inafanywa na the parent, akaachia watoto. Nao watoto sasa wame transfer. They have bequeathed to the children because our business can be inherited. That's something good. You know, that is a generational business and it is still growing. That was my point number 2. What will help you to look ahead? A thick skin. A thick skin. Kuwa mtu kaa ngumu. Kama MP mwingine alikuwa hapo mbeleni. Yani unakaa ngumu, unasema hii ndio nafanya. However easy, however simple that may sound, that is a key point. Be teachable. What do you mean by being teachable? Be teachable means the person who invited you to this business, akikwambia, or your upline director, akwambie, ukiingia kwa hii biashara, kama umeingia na 8,970, tunaingia kuna 8,970. Ukiingia na 8,970, kuwa manager. Let's say that is what is happening. I'm encouraging many people to become managers in my team. Kuwa manager, na manager anakuwa na points 250. Sasa kuwa manager, sasa usianze kumwambia, na hii ni shida pia inatokananga na watu ambao wametoka kwa network marketing zingine. Unaanza kukuambia, unajua pale nimetoka hatufanyangi hivyo. Unajua sasa hiyo, is it a must? Ni lazima nifanye hiyo 250. Unafundishwa ingine, unaambiwa, these are our basics. Our basics are use the product, share the product, make sure you sponsor, you bring people, and make sure you train. Unasikia mtu mwingine anakuuliza, hebu tuseme mimi sio mzuri sana wa kuleta watu. Naweza fanya hii biashara nikitumia tu zangu products, na sijui kuuza. Kuna mtu mwingine aliniambia hajui kuuza, nikamuuliza, unajua tu kununua? You know, when somebody tells you sijui kuuza, what are they telling you? Mimi kazi yangu, mimi ni mnunuzi. Ukitaka kununuliwa kitu, contact me. Mimi kazi yangu ni kununua. Kuuza sijuangi kuuza. Lakini kununua, I'm an expert. Sasa somebody tells you, use the product, share the product, sponsor, and train. Make sure you attend trainings. As simple as that one sounds, kindly obey. Because let me tell you, some of the signals you get when you are just about to leave this business, ama itaku frustrate when you are not sponsoring. When you're not sponsoring, your chances of survival in this business are very slim. Chances za kwenda, you know, when you sponsor, you get new life in your business. So when you are sponsor or the upline director tells you, na by the way, fanya hivi, sponsor, leta watu wengine kwa biashara. Usianze kusema, unajua watu, kwanza hapa mimi nimetoka, watu hawaingiagi hii biashara. Unajua hii biashara imesaturate. Huo ni uongo. Unajua hii biashara imesaturate huku kwetu. Watu wa huku kwetu ni wangumu, hawaingiangi biashara. They don't hii pengine kama ingekuja zamani, lakini kwa sasa they are not getting in. Hawaingii biashara, na huo ni uongo. hiyo ni uongo. You know, when your sponsor, when your upline director or the world team teaches you something, take it. Take it and take it with them, because this is a new venture. This is a new thing. So when they teach you something, kindly be teachable. That one will help you to look ahead. But then something else. When you do that, when you are taught, don't be taught forever. What do I mean by that? Ile kitu uliambiwa. By the way, ukiona, for example, ukiona kila wakati unapigiwa simu ufanye 100. Like now we are going to next, we are just about to close the month. We should be closing the month, if I'm not wrong, on Monday. On Monday, coming Monday. Do you know kuna mtu hajafanya 100 na amekuwa kwa biashara sio mwezi moja ama miwili, amekuwa kwa biashara miezi 6, mwingine amekuwa biashara mwaka hata miwili, lakini anagojea upline ampigie simu amwambie hujafanya 100. Unajua 100 ni muhimu. Somebody told me this. To start as a baby is normal. But to remain a baby for 30 years is a serious deformity. There are things that are expected for a baby. We accept them because this one is a baby, and a baby takes time. A normal baby takes time. But when a baby is a baby for 1 year, we are comfortable. 2 years, it's okay. 4 years, sawa. 10 years, 15 years, bado ni mtoto. Bado anataka kupewa chakula na kijiko hapa, na biwa meze. 20 years, na bado ni mtoto. Then that is what we call a serious deformity. Kindly be teachable. And what you are taught, grasp it. And probably this should be my parting shot. Though you need to be teachable, and you should, kindly be what Neolife call us. Neolife call us independent distributors. Be independent. Let me ask you, you have been in the business for a whole year. You have been in the business for 2 years, even 3 years, others 4. How many meetings have you organized of your own? Yani wewe umejipangia mikutano yako mwenyewe kwa sababu umekuwa kwa biashara miezi 6 continuously. Hata kama ni mkutano wa watu wawili ama watatu. How many meetings of your own have you organized? You might have a wonderful sponsor, but let me warn you, never abuse your sponsor. How do you abuse your sponsor? It is not calling him or her names. You abuse your sponsor when you want him or her to do what you already know or what you are supposed to do. Do you know kuna watu wamemaliza miezi 2 katika hii biashara na bado hawawezi jifanyia order. Wakitaka kununua kitu wanapiga simu. Nataka omega 3. Unaulizwa gani? Ile dogo. Yani bado anategemea sponsor. If you really want to grow in our business, when you are taught, be teachable. And whatever you are taught, take it. Sasa, be a person who can do orders, and be a person who can do the orders without the knowledge of your sponsor. Sio lazima umwambie, ebu akute huko, already you are at 4,000 without him or her. Let me tell you, do you know, I am so proud of some people in my team that have made me completely irrelevant in their teams. This is an open secret. I've been invited by Grace, by the way, to speak in this meeting. Grace Chege is the one who handles this Wednesday meeting. It is for our bigger team, Acres of Diamond, but it is Grace who handles this meeting. But Grace has also some other personal meetings zake ambazo, as at now, I am completely irrelevant. I can be invited to speak. But even if I don't attend, nothing stops. Yani mambo inaendelea ni kama sikuwa. You know, and that is the beauty of network marketing. So make sure that one comes from something you call duplication. Make sure that when you come into the business, very early, now ujaribu iwe mapema, very early, become independent from your sponsor. Musiwe kila wakati munabebana. Because hiyo kubebana ndio inaleta hata chuki. Ndio inaleta, because huyu sasa anashindwa, kwani nilibeba nani? Huyu ni kama hashikanishi. You know, okay, I can see I have 4 minutes remaining. Purities always tell me to where the words should remain. Unajua, kuna mambo you don't expect for someone who has been in the business for 10 years. Even, sorry, not for 10 years, but for 10 months. There are things you don't expect from somebody who has been in the business for a whole year. Mpaka sasa, do you know kuna watu ambao hawajui mambo ya back office. Ukimuuliza back office, anakuambia, yo niliona mimi niache tu. Kwa sababu niliona iko complicated. Unajua hii ni ya mambo ya hii digital na ni kama na kuangana shida ya digital. Please, usiwe na shida ya digital, because some of these things are so simple. In fact, I was surprised to get to know that some of these things you can get them on your, just like vile tu download WhatsApp, una download back office ya biashara yako, unafinya tu kanakuwa ka app kanaitwa New Life Back Office. Unakafinya tu hivi, vile tu unafinyanga WhatsApp kwa ka app, kanafunguka, unaona vile biashara yako imetembea. So, my third point, kindly be teachable. Na ukifundishwa, onyesha umeshika. How do you onyesha umeshika? Unaonyesha umeshika ukifanya. If you are doing that, then you feel, I am able to do this. Kindly, as early as it is possible, move away from your sponsor. Do your own things. How do you do your own things? You already know the basics. Use the product, share the product, sponsor. Make sure you train. And don't miss trainings. So that does not mean that you become enemies with your sponsor. No. But allow your sponsor to talk to other people. Usiwe kila wakati wewe uko pale, bado unataka kupatiwa food kwa mdomo na umekuwa mtu mkubwa. Sasa lazima hata asukume sana, ajaribu sana la kijiko kukuwekea kule juu. Na kuna wengine wamezaliwa juzi. Sasa unajua hawa bado hata wako kwa napi. Sasa allow your sponsor to take care of the people of the napi, so that also you'll be able also to have your children of your own and you take care of them. Si nimalizie hapo kwa sababu Grace amenipatia signal. Kiona amerudisha video ananiambia pitio achia hapo. Na mimi nimekubali Grace. Asante sana and have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much, Grace. And thank you very much, team, for listening.
Hey, my sponsor, you know you are my sponsor. These people should know that you are I'm just laughing, eh? People need to be teachable, PT Isaac. And I can see our upcoming PT Henry Kissinger from Nakuru saying that you are hitting the nail on the head, because these are the problems people are having in this business. But I believe I can attest here, PT Isaac, I never gave you problems. I was very teachable, and I became as independent as early as a senior manager. So I am just so excited. Thank you so much, PT. And thank you for everyone who was listening. I just want to tell you what PT Isaac has shared with us is powerful. If you get it and run with it, if you own the business, even if today you're on this call and you are 1 day old, If you take those things PT Isaac have said seriously, you will grow. God bless you. Thank you so much, PT Isaac. Thanks everyone for attending this meeting. And thank you for telling us that we should look ahead. And in those things we've been told, knowledge, having a thick skin, being teachable and sponsoring is what we need to do. Thank you so much, PT Isaac. And thanks everyone on this call. Bye-bye.
Very much.